Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 3 of Classic DM, the Steading of the Hill Giant Chief. Episode 3 is going to be entitled The Back Halls. So as you may remember last time, our last episode, if you didn't catch it, you should go back and check it out for free on YouTube, of course. Our party entered the Steading of the Hill Giant Chief and wiped out a number of guards. Pretty straightforward stuff. We had a number of guards that were over here that were sleeping. They were dispatched pretty easily. And over around the corner, our monk, Elafonissi, got into serious trouble and almost got slaughtered on these stairs. We pulled a guard down from upstairs, got all the bodies, dragged them, threw them out the tower. So now everyone's healed up. They're positioned themselves by this door. They've already listened to some of the sounds behind this door, and they heard a lot of yelling and shouting and drinking and tankards smashing on tables, like a massive party's going on, like something you might expect in a Viking celebration. So they decided to kind of skip that for now and keep things silent and quiet. Because remember, their goal here is to try to find out where this missing child is, this royal child. The firstborn child of Aiden, of Ket, and Mara of the Tiger Nomads. So, let's go over here real quick. Let's see what we got going on. So, we're going a little closer here. Here's how everyone's set up right now. So we have Vaeringjar, our assassin, at the door, and as usual, he's probably going to be sent in first to go check things out. These doors in this place are massive wood, iron bound. Imagine chopping down trees that are about 2 feet in diameter and putting 5 or 6 of them together and strapping them together with a bunch of iron and driving spikes into them. They have really clunky hinges and things of that nature. So, you know, these aren't your run-of-the-mill creak open the door quietly type things. So to open one of these things, you're going to have a couple people grab those rings and really move it really, really slowly. Imagine trying to drag something across the floor in your garage that's quite heavy. But at the same time, you can't really hear very well through it. It's raining outside. You can probably hear the rain in the background right now. Obscura is over by the front door, which is where they slipped in a couple of nights ago on an episode or two ago. We've got our Tiger Nomad Druid and Elafonissi. She just recovered back to full health. Everything's okay there. The Druid did cast a spell last episode, but she's used one of those, okay? So let's just go ahead and start pulling up the character sheets. And for those of you who missed our previous episodes, you'll catch up pretty quickly. So Mercedes kind of bossing folks around. Remember, she's kind of like the commander of everyone. This is Antolo the cleric. This is Zolris, a Tiger Nomad glaive-wielding warrior. And this is Vaeringjar, and they've kind of discussed quietly. The four of them are going to open this door slowly, and he's going to slip into the shadows and try to make it in. Now, the way that really needs to work is this. We're going to have Mercedes and Zolris get the ring on the door and grab it like this and tug it. So you got let's just draw a quick little fun sketch for you. So you got this massive door. If you're looking at it from your view where you're looking at it, you got this big ring on it. This thing is big, heavy things of chopped up pieces of oak and timber, and they got these big iron-bound spikes holding it together. So this is about how tall a person is, right? So here's a person standing next to this door. So this is like a 10-foot tall door. It's the same height as like a basketball goal. So if you're standing here, you're going to pull this. You know, you're going to have to reach up with your hands high, like you reach into the hood of your car, and grab that ring and pull it. Now, the floor surface in this place is a bunch of crappy stones thrown on sand. So it's not like this is a polished floor or a carpet or a rug, and it's not raw dirt. Now, all the dirt that's been tracked into this place is all muddy and filthy and nasty, and it's okay to do stuff on top of dirt. But right here, since the door has been opened and closed frequently, all that dirt's been swept to the side. So you'd have a lot of dirt piled up and nastiness over here. So moving it and sliding it, especially with its poor workmanship and crappy carpentry, means it's going to possibly make some noise. Now, despite how much we can listen at that door, we still can't tell what's going on. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take our assassin, and we're going to move the cleric back here. Obscura's going to sit back here because she's a little skittish. We're going to have the monk and the druid sit back over here, and they're going to kind of make sure no one suddenly opens this door behind them. Everyone feels pretty confident that nothing's going to ever come from this way. But if one of these two big double doors opens, we're going to have to run interference here with the druid and the monk. And remember, the monk is a 24 movement rate. So it's a little bit different movement rate system than in 5th edition, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not a big 5th edition player yet. I can't wait to be at some point. Maybe this will lead into that one day. But for right now, I'm an old school first edition guy. So the movement rate on most characters, human characters like we have here, like let's look at Mercede, you can see that, this is all 12. So this is considered like 120 feet in a round. Now in the first edition, a round is a minute, and then minutes then divided up into 10 segments, which are 6 seconds. So to me, when you hear me say round, what I'm really talking about when we're in combat is a segment. Now a round in the original game, let's just say, I'm going to do this just a little background homebrew lesson. Let's say we had this fella here fighting the monk. Now they're engaged in combat. Now when you're doing rolls to hit and the initiative's for the round, which should be 10 6-second segments. Although that roll to hit is all supposed to be transpiring over the course of a minute. But what I found is much more fun and more immediate for people is that in reality, if you saw two people fighting, if you were over here and you saw these two people fighting, you're not engaged in combat. You're not going to watch them swing and battle it out for a full minute and then decide to maybe come over here and do something. So what I do is I just do everything on a per segment basis. Let's just get rid of this guy because he's not really here. So I hope that clarifies some of the stuff. When you're running your own campaign, you got to make it work the way you want it to work. And I think it's more fun and more like watching a TV show or a movie when we do it this way. So let's go back to our door here. So just to keep things by the book, because these guys don't get special treatment, we've got a 16 strength on Mercede, and on Zalars we got a 16 street. So that whole bend bars, lift gate percentage thing is only 10%. Well, they're not trying to bend bars, okay? What they're trying to do is just open the door, but they're trying to do it in a controlled manner. So maybe they put their foot against the door and try to drag it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them a 50% chance collectively to be able to pull and slide the door open controlled. Imagine you trying to push a big coffee table across the floor without making a lot of noise. So to get that door to move all the way back here so the assassin can slip in, just enough room for one of them to slip in, which is Vaeringjar. We're going to give them a 50% chance. Seems pretty reasonable that they can pull that off. If they don't do it, one of them will stumble or let go and it'll go clunk and it'll maybe make some noise, or somebody will slip, and then we'll have to check and see if anyone's back here, because I know what's back here, but these players, they don't know what's back here, okay? So 50% chance, right? 46, so anything less than, on the percentile rolls, remember everything lower than the number you're trying to shoot. So if I told you you have a 75% chance of winning the lottery, you roll a 76, you're not going to win. So in this case, 50% chance. They are able to pull the door open. That means by the time they're done, Zalars is going to move over here, and it's going to move over here, and our door, whoops, we just wiggled our map there. Sorry about that, kids. Let's put that map back. I really should tape these down. All right, we're going to change maps here. That's why I didn't want to. So now we got this door ajar, if you can call it that. Not Vaeringjar, but ajar. So that big, heavy wood is just open enough for the assassin to slip in there. Now, I'm not going to close it behind him because he's going to need a way to get out. But I know what's behind this door. And I know what can see if anyone comes poking in around the corner. But this assassin, he knows what he's doing. Now, let's go take a look at Vaeringjar's sheet here. If you look way down here in the lower right-hand corner, his hide and shadows is 68%. So we'll just use a purple die for him. 68% chance to hide in shadows. Now, the way it works in first edition, you may think you're hidden, but you're not. Now, you could do this as a secret roll, but I think it's fun for the players to roll it. Then they have to kind of role play. So that's just an 8. This isn't 108. It's 0, 0, and 8. So it's an 8. That's all like absolutely perfectly executed. Couldn't be any better. So he's going to disappear from sight. Now, everyone else on the scene, they don't really know what's happened. But they got to be quiet. They got to sit tight. Now, what I'm going to do here, just to keep things on everyone's toes, I'm going to give everyone in this area a chance to take like 4 steps to move and change their position, to be alert and listen for what's happening. So the druid, who can move very, very quietly and silently, and the monk, because let's go take a look at the druid's sheet real quick. Because our assassin on the other side of the wall, he's on his own now, right? So a druid can pass without trace. And this, for me, a druid moving on solid ground or man-made architecture, they're not going to make any noise. They don't need to do, they're not trying to hide in shadows. They're just moving absolutely quietly. So for her to do that, it's no problem. For Elafonissi, remember the monks always get some thief abilities. They don't pick pockets and things like that, but they can hide in, I believe they can hide in shadows with this really lower percentage, and they can hear sound, things like that. Hide in shadows is 68, hear noise is 30%. So what we're going to do is Elafonissi's just going to go right back over to this door again and see what she can hear. Has anything changed since she was there, since they were there earlier? Because it's probably been about you know, in game time, in real time, probably about 5 minutes. Now everyone else is going to be on pins and needles while they wait to find out what's happened. So she's listening at the door. Let's give her a chance to see what she hears, okay? And what do we say again she needs? This is its HN number. Hear noise is only 30% chance. So if a 30% chance means she'll be able to identify pretty darn clearly what that is. So we're going to give her a percentile roll, 30% or less. 25. Okay. That deserves an audio-visual cue, wouldn't you say? So she really kind of hears something kind of like this. So imagine you're the monk. You're absolutely quiet. There's 2 burning braziers next to you. Let's just get that camera focused in over here and talk about this for a second. So here you are. You're the monk. And we're going to make this a little bit bigger for you so you can see better. Let's pull this up to here. So you hear all this talking, you know, it sounds like a bunch of drunk men, maybe, or older men, or giants. You can hear plates, glasses, maybe some tankards. You think you can hear fire, but you've got the storm that's in this area still kind of raining down on this low roof, so it's kind of hard to tell, but it sounds like maybe at least 20. At least 20. So she's going to hand signal back to the druid like 5, 5, 5. Maybe do some hand signals to kind of communicate. The druid's going to nod. Then she's going to kind of come back over here and just quietly whisper to everyone that it kind of sounds like there's a feast going on behind this, but it's echoing down a hallway. So that's really, really good information. So we're going to leave Elafonissi here because if anyone comes walking from behind these heavy, heavy oak doors, wooden doors here, she'll be able to alert everyone. So the druid's going to stay here, and what she's doing is she's going to listen at the door, and if anything comes down the hallway, then she'll be able to alert everyone. So I'm going to check behind the scenes. I'm not going to let you see this roll. You'll hear it, but you won't see it, right? We're going to see if anything happens. Okay. All right. We'll leave it like that. So we're going to taper that back off. You've got a good sense of what she's hearing, right? So now let's switch back over to our, let's switch back over to this. Vaeringjar comes poking his head out the window and does a hand signal. It's like, come on, let's go. So slowly but surely, we have to trust that he scoped the area out. And one by one, everyone's going to slip behind this doorway. And I'm going to take them off the board here until we switch the map. So Elafonissi's just going to wait. Everyone's going to come. We're going to move everyone off the board, okay? Then Zolaris goes through. They're going to have our cleric come through. Then Obscura, who doesn't really want to. I like to play her shy. Illusionists are pretty, they're there for the last minute save, right? Lots of illusions. She's going to come through. Then the druid. And at the very last second, Elafonissi and her sister, she'll come zipping over really quiet. They'll all slip through this doorway here. So far, so good. That could have been very nasty. I like to do a debrief video, and I'll do a debrief video of the weekend to let you know what could have happened there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to switch to what's behind this doorway. So you can no longer hear this sound. You can't really hear this anymore. You might be hearing maybe something, maybe like this a little bit. No. So it's kind of a, not quite as loud as that. There we go. So you still hear this yelling, because this is what the party's going to hear. So we're going to switch maps, and I'll be right back. It's just taking like 10 seconds. Okay, so where are our legendary group of 4 Buckloonish tiger nomads? So we're coming from this way, okay? So Vaeringjar's first. Second, we have Zalars. He'll take the right flank. Now Mercedes, imposing her commander-type attitude. This is the rest of the hallway that you saw with the door. And the actual door that you opened is down here, is down this way. So we're going to resize the map a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Let's pull this out a little bit. There we go. A little bit better. There we go. Get rid of that. And behind that we have Antola and the Druid. Now he's going to stay behind Antola and the Druid. The Elafonissi will be back here, following up the rear. Excuse me, I got Mercede mixed up with Elafonissi. Mercede and Zalars, and then here's Vaeringjar. And Vaeringjar's here at the hallway, looking left and looking right. And he's kind of told everyone what he saw. And what he really saw was this. And we've got Obscura's way back in the back. So let's pull this camera out a little bit more while we go over, so what's going on? What have you seen? What's happening here? So we'll just move this down like this. Give you a chance to see a little bit better. There we go. So, got a narrow 10-foot wide passageway. It branches right. It branches left. There's huge, massive torches burning and smoldering down the hallway. These ceilings are 20 feet tall, with a single arch going right down the middle. So imagine a big ceiling, like an arch, like a wooden cabin you might see or something in Colorado. Ironic. You got a peak inside vaulted ceiling like in a home. It's all made out of this crappy wood construction. And the direction of the torch smoke is very telling sometimes. The torch smoke can kind of linger and get stuck in an area. In this area here, it's all being pulled down this hallway. It gives you a sense of where drafts are. This smoke here kind of goes up against this wall and slips underneath like a crack in the floor. So here we are. Vaeringjar, he slips down this way. We have Zalars and Mercede coming here. Look left, look right. He gives them a hand signal. And he's saying down this way there's a door. And there's a bunch of noise from behind the door. So they don't want to have someone flank them from behind. So what Mercede asks is for Antola to come with her, and for Zalars and Elafonissi, because she's going to be partial to her cat buddies, and the Druid to set up shop in this hallway here. And that she and Antola to take the middle, and that she and Vaeringjar will go down this hallway and want Obscura to stay in the back. So we're going to have to roll to check something here, because something, like I said before, has been happening behind the scenes while everyone's been moving around. So you're not going to get to see this roll, right? But you may be able to hear it. Okay. So Vaeringjar pauses right here. And we're going to have to do a hear noise check for him because he hears something. A shuffling of a feet. So we got his stats up right there. What does he need to hear noise? His hear noise number is way down here. If you look, check down here where thief abilities are, it's a 30% chance. You would pretty much hear something, but you need to be able to identify what it is. So I'm going to give the player, this is you being the player making this roll, a chance to identify what this sound is. And since all this action is happening over here, let's get you a little closer. And we're going to pan this over like this. There we go. All right. 30% chance, right? 66. So when that kind of stuff happens, you heard something. He's just not sure what it is, but he's still hidden in shadows. There's torchlight here, so casting shadows, you're going to have a shadow being cast this direction. So the shadow of the character isn't peeking around the corner. If you're playing a first-person shooter, we all know how important shadows are. So he's going to peek around the corner, and he's going to signal to Mercede what he sees. And basically what he sees is a guy holding a huge two-handed axe. Let's get a little light back over here. Huge two-handed axe, kind of tired, leaning against the wall, fiddling with his fingers, not too excited, looking maybe a little drunk, a little tired. Maybe a dejected look on his face, like he's not too happy. Mercedes going to turn around and motion to Antola to come forward. And then she's going to whisper to him to see if she can get... She's going to pop around the corner. she wants to keep him hidden in the shadows, and they want to try to pull him around the corner, and then they're going to engage him. Now what she's going to do is have him stay back here hidden in shadows, and so she's actually going to step out and have him see her, but just for a millisecond. Her plan is that he'll see her and go, huh, and maybe come down the hallway. Now the bad thing about that kind of tactic is this guy might go, hey, wait a minute, a human being in full plate mail, let me just go raise the alarm. But she's got a little bravado, so she's going to take this chance. I'm going to give this guy who's relatively dumb, okay, we're going to do a check against his intelligence. So if I roll less than his intelligence, which is 6 on 3 6-siders, that means he's smarter to know that he should go tell someone else about what he thinks he saw. So she's just going to pop out just enough for Ed to see him for a second and then pop back and take a step. 6 or less. Nope, there's no way. So you have this reaction where it's like, huh? And this guy comes beaming down the hallway. He's got his weapon at ready. And right when he comes around the corner, boom, she's going to take a swing at him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give her, she's anticipating this swing. She got her hands ready, her two-handed sword's ready, and as soon as he comes peeking around the corner, she's just going to lay into him. So I'm not going to be doing an initiative roll or anything, and while she's striking him, Vaeringjar's going to slip around behind him. But what we need to do now, because he can see him and they're so close and the shadows of the torches are casting this way, we need to do a check to see if Vaeringjar can still remain hidden in shadows while Mercedes taking her swing. This is going to happen real quick, okay? So the hide in shadows check for him is 68, right? He's pretty close. Let's give him a 10% penalty. You need 58 or less. 28. That's brilliant. So Vaeringjar is able to go slip right behind him. Sorry about the whistle. It's probably kind of loud. Mercedes is going to get a swing at this guy. So what do we got here? This bruiser guard is a hill giant bruiser, and he's using a two-handed axe, which is a 2 to 16 damage type weapon. He's AC 4. Okay, so let's just take a look at Mercedes for some combat here. So she only needs a 6 to hit AC 0. So just take 4 off of that, right? She only needs a 2. So she's using this magnificent +4 Zweihander, which is a German term for two-handed sword. So all she needs is a 2 to hit this guy, and he's almost flat-footed, but I'm not going to do anything with that kind of roll. So let's just do a roll for her. Okay, so there's a 9. So that's an easy hit, and her damage on that weapon is 1d10 plus 5 against that size creature. What I try to do is prepare that stuff ahead of time. Excuse me, against large giants, she rolled 3d6 plus 5. So we like rolling that. That's lots of fun numbers. So we're going to roll these. I'll try to roll this stuff up here so you can see the numbers better. 3d6 plus 5. Whoa, that's nice. 11, 3, 14, plus 5 is 19. This guy's got 40 health. 40 minus 20 would have been 20, but it's 19, so he's at 21. That's almost half the guy's life. So a lot of people don't do this, but I'm going to give this guy a quick little saving throw. I'm going to give him a chance 5 out of 20 to recover from this sudden blow, because look, imagine what this guy's seeing. You got the torches. You think you saw something whip around the corner near you. You're not really sure, you know, what that was. You've got this girl with red hair, this big two-handed sword on this glorified armor taking a swing at you. Behind her is another fellow with a shield with a big, you know, flail in his hand. And behind that, this is Drew with these crazy horns on. It's kind of like a, what the devil? There's 20 people in the hallway. I need to go tell the boss. What should I do? So he's confused. Let's give him a quick saving throw. If it's 5 or lower, right, he's not confused. If he fails it, then we're going to roll for initiative, and I'm going to give a bonus to her. Okay, so it's 15. So he's totally like bewildered, caught off guard, completely surprised. That's just enough time for Vaeringjar to get a free backstab, which will probably slaughter him. So, you know, when you got moments like this isn't going to be a long fight, right? You hope. Let's go ahead and get something appropriate going in the background for that. We'll just put this down here. There we go. That'll be fun. Let's listen to that for a minute or two while we're fighting. So we're going to remove those, and we're going to switch to Vaeringjar. This guy's nasty, isn't he? Totally cool looking character. And in one of my weekly debriefs, I'll talk to people about how I made the character, pictures, where they come from, and all that kind of neat stuff, because I certainly didn't model or create those myself. Those are media from the web, from another game. So let's do Vaeringjar's attack. So what does he need, right? To hit AC 0, he only needs a 12. Remember, this guy's AC 4, so you take 4 away, so he only needs an 8. His first roll is at -2 because he's dual wielding. So this is the first roll -2. So that's really only a 3. So his main hand weapon completely misses, right? And a 15, if you can see that, that's a good solid hit. So what does he do for damage against giant guys? 1d8 plus 6. Not an awesome hit, but remember this is going to be multiplied by a factor of 4. Okay, not 5, 4. And I try to notate that on his character sheet. So backstabbing is nasty business. But it takes a lot of work and a lot of skill checks to get in those positions. And when you're a level 10 assassin, it's not the end of the world if you don't pull it off. If you don't pull it off, you're basically a fighter with low armor. If you do pull it off, you're almost a one-shot wonder. So 1d8 plus 6. Where's our 8-siders? Here's one. Let's use the purple one. Oh, wonderful. It couldn't be any higher than that, right? So we got 1d8 plus the 6, right? What's that, 14 times 4? Woohoo! That's nasty. That's already like 56 damage. So, you know, this guy had 40 health. He was already down to 21. That's like over 30 points of damage it needed with his offhand to kill this guy. I'm just going to assume this guy, the first weapon completely misses. The second weapon hits this guy in the spine, just splits his spine open, something like you might see in a Vikings show. And it kills him so instantaneously that he's actually able to, almost like in Assassin's Creed, like drop this guy down to the ground very quietly to make sure he doesn't thump. So he's dead, now the picture. So a little bit of movement there. It's going to clear some of the smoke out. Now, everyone's been staying quiet. Now, what's going on over here? So Obscura is going to peek because she got to know what's going on. She heard this guy. He didn't yell out in pain or anything, but everything's still in the quiet. And Mercedes almost like going to immediately take a step over him. She's thinking that, hey, what's going to come out of this door? And what's this weird smoke thing happening here? Vaeringjar knows the guy's dead. He set him down to the ground. He's just going to maintain position over the corpse. Antola, our cleric's just going to wait. Obscura is peeking. The druid's just looking. Zalrus is looking. And Elafonissi is looking. But they realize, like, okay, that's done. Let's make sure there's nothing else around this corner. So what we're going to do is Elafonissi is going to try to hide in shadows, and she's going to try moving down this hallway quietly as well. And Zalrus is just going to stay back. So we need to do a check for her. So we need to have her sheet up to look at see what she can do. So for hiding shadows for her, where do we have that? There is 68% chance. Now remember, when you're hiding shadows, it means you think you're hidden. Doesn't mean you necessarily are. So that's a 98. That's not good. She thinks she's hidden. But can she move silently as well? Let's see. Let's just check. Open locks. Move silently. 83%. Let's see if she's silent. She may not be completely hidden. But let's see if she's silent with this stuff. 97. So she's not necessarily quiet. I wouldn't say she's walking down the hallway making a bunch of noise, but she's a monk. She's not wearing any, like, you know, plate mail solerettes or anything like that. So her feet are shuffling. So as a DM, and I'm not let you see this, I'm going to roll a d20 and see if, and you don't know whether it's true or not, something behind the scenes, I'm just going to put my hand here so you can't see, right? Here's her shuffling down the hallway. Okay. So nothing happens. She can't tell what's happening at all. So we're going to go back to this real quick. The tense moment, not sure what's going to happen. So she's going to move and kind of avoid the smoke. Come down to the hallway, just barely peek around the corner. The druid's going to move a little closer because she's still a little worried about her sister because her sister got hurt pretty bad before. And now she's going to keep looking this way. And there's nothing visible here, but the smoke is curiously doing some weird stuff. Okay? So let's see. What does she see? She peeks around the corner. There's another one of these doors here with a big iron hinge on it. And let's move the map so you can see it better because we're going to shift down to the other end of the hallway now. So we're going to slide this down. Okay? So now we're going to deal with this end of the map. In fact, we need to pull this over a little bit for you. And zoom it out just a touch so you can see better. I want you to be able to see this stuff. It's fun, but I also want you to be able to see this stuff pretty well too. All right, there you go. Now you can see a little bit better. So, bunch of torch smoke. Sorry about the shadows. A bunch of torch smoke is swirling and getting kind of stuck up in the roof here. There's a door here. She just peeked down this hallway. Does she see anything? No. But it fades kind of off into darkness, And the sound that you're hearing in the background, it seems to start to kind of like fade away now. So where she is, she's not really hearing those kinds of sounds anymore. Um, she's hearing something more along the lines like this. Let's get this up here. So she's hearing, rain hitting the roof, maybe like a low roof, dripping through. There's no more yelling or fighting or whatever else she was hearing before. But she does hear something thumping. So we're going to do a little hear noise check to see if she can identify what that thumping, bumping sound is. And she also thinks she hears some kind of breathing. I'm just going to say it sounds like a deep, guttural animal breathing. But she's not real sure where it's coming from because remember, all of these floors in this place are all stone. But there's some kind of thumping sound. Let's just do it this way. So thumping sound from in here, maybe heavy breathing, animal breathing from in there. Okay? Not much to go on, but we need to do some checks to find out what that really is going to be, if she can tell what it is. So, hear noise for her. Hear hiding shadows. Hear noise is only 30%. That's not very good, but she's a monk. She's not really a thief. Oh, 49. So she can't really identify what it is. So, without knowing what it is, she's actually going to take a chance and go up to this door and listen at the door very quietly. It's the same kind of wooden timber door that's iron bound. It's almost like these things are made out of logs, if you can think of it like that. Looks like it swings in. So unlike the other one, this one swings, whoops, my shadow's in the way. This one swings inward. So she can tell it has, and this one here swings inward as well. So these are doors you're going to have to push in. Push this door in and push this door in. They don't have a scrape mark on the ground to let you know that, oh, someone's been pulling the door open. So she can't really identify the sound. So she's going to signal back to Zollers to come a little closer. Now, this is a tiger nomad guy. This isn't a run-of-the-mill plate mail wearing knight in shining armor. He understands what it's like to be quiet. So he's going to come up to the door. Now, he's not a thief, so I'm just going to give him an intelligence check, okay? This is something you can do with any of your role-playing games. You give him a check against stats. So this guy's intelligence isn't the greatest in the world. It's only 11, but I'm still going to give him a chance because of his life experiences and everything else he's done to maybe kind of be able to imagine the sound effect and see what it is. So 11 or less. 16, so he can't really tell. He can't really tell what this sound is. And there's more thumping and more bumping. Let's see if anyone in the hallway has a sense of what this thumping and bumping sound is, because there's also a lot of bumping and tumbling sounds happening from here. This room sounds like there's an indoor soccer game going on or something like that. Vaeringjar, let's give him a chance. He's down at the other end of the map. So what's going to happen is Elafonissi is going to back it on up, back behind the torchlight, and Zollers is going to back it on up behind here too, because they're not sure what they're hearing. Okay? Sierra's a little nervous about that, and she's just going to step back. Now we're going to go down to the other side of the map and see what the other two think. What do they think is going on? So we're going to go back down here real quick. Okay? Mercedes is going to walk down the hallway, try to be as quiet as possible. And when she gets here, she hears more thumping and bumping. So let's give her the same kind of fair shot. It's just like in your real life in your house. Imagine you're in your house, you're being super quiet, you hear something downstairs, and you're like, that's someone messing with my dish rack, you know? So you have a chance as any character to maybe figure out what that might be. So 16 or less, all right? 16 or less. That's going to do it on a D20, though. That makes it more difficult because your stats only go up to 18. 16 or less. This is a natural 20. She really has no idea what that sound is. In fact, she's a little confused by it and just going to stand there listening on the door and losing herself and kind of forgetting that, you know, if someone's going to open a door, you're going to be caught off guard because you're still trying to imagine the sound. So Vaeringjar is going to come here, and we're going to give him a hear noise check. So Vaeringjar has skills at doing this kind of stuff, right? So his hear noise chance is 30% as well. So we're going to do a percentile dice roll for him. 30% chance. 31. Oh, that's like almost telling. The only thing he really tells is that there's probably giants in here wrestling, maybe, but can't tell how many. And he's going to whisper that to her really quietly. So for her, that's like, this is fantastic. This is what I've been waiting for. So I'm going to have her, with her overconfidence, step over here. And she hasn't really actually figured out that this door swings out this way. Excuse me, swings inward. Doesn't swing outward, just like all the other doors. So here's the torch burning, and the smoke's gathering here. It's slipping underneath this little panel, which is kind of funny looking. I'm going to give him a chance to see if when he sees her move here, he's like, whoa, what's this over here on the wall? Is that some kind of weird secret panel or something? So let's give him a chance to find or remove traps is 65% for Vaeringjar. So now that the intention of her moving over here with her two-handed, it's still got blood all over it. Does he have a chance to see this? 85. He kind of looks at it, and it just looks like another crappily made door. He doesn't really notice. He couldn't really identify the sound. And Tola is here. He's a very wise person, very intelligent. We're going to give him a skill check as well, a stat check against his intelligence. Not against wisdom, but his intelligence, 14 or less. So friendly, isn't it? A 3. So that's a pretty good sense, but based upon his life skills, he would say there's probably at least 10, maybe not as big as giants, but 10 big people wrestling in here. So what do you know so far? What do you know so far? 10 plus wrestling. Now that would be an MMA fight to see, pay-per-view, right? So this is our druid. She's listening against the wall as well. Let's see what she can identify. What does she think is going on? She's got 14 intelligence. Let's give her an intelligence check as well. A 9. She thinks that the sound she's hearing in here is young hill giants. And she actually thinks there's probably at least 15. And she thinks that what they're doing is they're running back and forth and tackling each other and falling to the ground and then punching each other in the face and rolling around, and then someone's banging against the wall. So she thinks it's almost like it's like a young hill giant jiu-jitsu practice. So she's going to tell that to her comrades here and then quickly move down the hallway and say, listen, this is what I think is going on here. So while she's moving down the hallway with a little bit of urgency, I need to, as a DM, do a check to make sure that she hasn't woken anyone up. Okay? So nothing major happens with that. Now she's told everyone what it is. Mercede needs to make a decision, but she also realizes she's not in position to alert everyone else. So what she's going to do is ask Vaeringjar, can he open a door and push it open enough to peek in? And he's like, sure, I can do that. But she's worried that she's not telling the others. This is one thing I like to make sure is happening. You have characters that conflict with each other, right? She's a very bravado female leader. She's going to do what she wants to do. She thinks she's the smartest. She's not going to listen to some druid from Tiger Nomads tell her what to do. So she realizes that your foolishness might endanger my friends, and she's going to whisper, say, no, wait, just wait a second. And I'm just giving her a charisma check. Mercedes got a pretty high charisma. That's a lot of overconfidence, I would say. And 17 charisma. I have to roll 17 or higher for her to fail this charisma check. Nope. She's confident. She says, no, just do it. Do what I say. Tell him to open a door. So what he's going to try to do, I'm going to give him a skill check against his dexterity. I know we're doing a lot of skill checks. This is trying to be quiet here, okay? Give the player a real chance to see how things. This is 17 dexterity on a d20. So if he can do this easily with a 1. So what he's able to do, and he's able to push this door open just enough for him to look in and have a line of sight about like this. So let's clear this up. We don't have this vague stuff anymore. No big clouds of noise. And what does he see in here? What can he see from this line of sight like that? Here you go right here. What is that, 45-degree line of sight? Here's what he sees. He sees a bunch of young hill giants, just as suspected, with no shirts on, wearing loincloths, barefoot, with no weapons, rolling around, punch each other in the face in groups of 3, almost like every man for himself in groups of 3. Some of them are sitting against a wall. They're like totally exhausted and tired. They're resting. Imagine going to like an MMA fighter gym where a bunch of guys are sitting around after being done practice. And he sees, every now and then, he sees guys fighting back and forth as if they're dueling. So that means there's more happening here. He sees these other figures dueling in the background with clubs, not killing each other. One-on-one dueling, and these guys keep going back and forth. And they're using some pretty decent-sized weapons, but these guys over here are wearing some armor. Like they're wearing like chainmail jackets. These other guys just like no shirts, a bunch of kids. So it's like this would be like a 10-year-old hill giants. These are 14-year-old hill giants if you compare it to modern day kids. So he really wants to open the door a little bit more, but he's going to tell everyone around him what he sees. So he's going to whisper very quietly, do some hand signals, tell her what he sees, tells her what she sees. She realizes like, okay, whatever we do, we can push the door in and charge in, but need just someone to make sure no one comes out this back door. So there may be a really loud melee in here, but she feels pretty confident that she can kill everything in the room before everything goes away. But the druid's like, I don't know about that. That sounds a little risky. So one thing the druid might want to mention is that, listen, I could, it says, if you give me a chance, if the two of us can slip into the room, I can cast plant growth in this entire room, okay? And what plant growth will do is any weeds in the cracks or things like that are growing that are natural will come up through the cracks in the ground and basically entangle and hold all these kids in place. And Mercedes like, that's ridiculous. I don't have a problem with that. I just want to fight them one-on-one. But we're going to do a charisma comparison here, okay? So we got a 15 charisma druid and a 17 charisma bossy female. 17, right? Gotta have bossy females or nothing will get done in this world. So what we're going to do, we're going to do this blue die for Mercedes, and we're going to do the purple die for this girl here. So that's Mercedes 17, and Vaeringjar, which is like Little Wolf in Irish, I believe, and she's going to roll this. So whoever has the high roll wins, but we're going to get a +2 to the blue one. So the blue +2 is 8. This is a 1. So that means the druid was completely unable to convince Mercedes at all to take her course of action. And because of that, she's just going to take a step back and she's going to signal to her friends down the hallway to come down the hallway. So that means they don't trust her decision-making skills, which is all going to affect how they get on later on in the battle. So these two come whipping down the hallway kind of quickly, and she's kind of worried. As she sees them moving, she's like, well, I need to be with my friends. So the cleric realizes that she's acting nervous. So I'm just going to come down the hallway and get here. And what are you doing? What's the plan? What's going on? And she's just going to go back and say, listen, there's a bunch of the hill giant young ones in here. They're wrestling and fighting. These two all powwow together. Obscura's like sitting here. She's just listening. She's kind of caught between everything. Standing on top of the hill giant's not really her idea of a good time, but she's going to stay on this side where she's away from the corner. And what she wants to do is they are having a kind of a whispering argument. Like, listen, this girl's going to kick the front door in. And all these guys are going to wake up. It's going to be a nasty mess. So Zoller's says, listen, we'll make sure nothing comes out the back door. So without even listening to Mercedes or consulting with her, they're going to quickly and very quietly move down all the way down to here to secure this hallway, knowing that you can't see it. So I'm going to pull the camera back a little bit for you here so you can see, okay? There we go. There we go. Let's just do this way too. To give me a minute while I adjust the camera, because this is one of the situations where you need to see what everyone sees. If you're sitting at the table, it's much easier, but I'm going to make it more fun for you by just adjusting this camera real time. Okay, so we're talking about over here. This is one thing about these kind of adventures in D&D that I just think is so fun, is when you got conflict. It's one of the things that makes games like Baldur's Gate and stuff so fun. So we're talking about down here, right? So Mercedes and Zolaris, let's turn them so you can see them better. They are going to go make sure that nothing comes out this door. They also realize that this door swings in. That means they're going to need to be on this side of the door. So Zolaris is going to put himself first because he's the strongest. There's this torch blowing smoke down the hallway here. She's actually going to look this way and make sure nothing comes down the hallway, but she's going to use the smoke to obscure her. And Zolaris is going to stand here against the door with his foot up against the door to make sure it doesn't open. Now, they made some noise, but there's so much noise happening in this room, they didn't wake anything up. But remember this over here? Remember this grumbling, snoring sound? Well, this is where your dungeon master makes one of those tension checks behind the scenes, right? Okay. I'm not going to let you know what happens with this. Let's just say that everyone's kind of forgotten about the snoring sound. Okay? So, Vaeringjar is going to try to open the door. Mercedes is going to go charging in the front door behind him. That's her plan. She's going to do it no matter what. And then Tola knows what this is like, and he's fought with her before, and he's going to be right hot on her heels. And Obscura is a little timid. She's going to stay back. And the druid's actually going to go this way to support these guys, because if things go nasty, she wants to, in her mind, I'm going to cast plant growth anyway. I don't care what this girl says. All right, so Vaeringjar's going to open the door a little bit further. We're going to give him a dex check to make sure he can do it a little further before anyone sees him, because he's hiding in shadows. In fact, let's do it this way. We'll give him a dex check on a d20. A natural 20 means he fails the dex check, so he starts to open the door and kind of fumbles a little bit, but let's make sure to see if he's still concealed. So you can fumble something, but if you're really concealed, no one can see you, nothing will happen. That's a 53. His hide in shadows number is 68. So let's just do this then. So we're going to move the line of sight line here. Let's move these little bad boys out of the way, young'uns, so we can get this cleared up for you so you can see better because things are changing. And this is a pretty well illuminated area now. So now the door is open this much, okay? That means that her shadow is going to cast against the door here, and he is actually going to slip into this room. And once he's in the room, he can see the whole room, and he can see right away that there's a torch here, there's a torch here, there's a torch here, and there's a torch here. That means that there's smoke kind of wafting up to the ceiling. It all seems to be kind of going this way, right? So, and this is a big arched ceiling with a peak, like a gable inside of a vaulted roof. And this door doesn't get opened very much. So no one really ever seems, these guys don't really seem to be reacting, and he's still concealed in shadows. But he realized once he sees the rest of the room, that this is everyone, that there was no other additional baddies over here, but along this wall, he sees tons of spears, okay? And a big pile of convenient, fun, tossing boulders. And there's another pile of boulders over here. And if you're going to grab boulders and throw them, this is like a highlight range, right? So for the Hill Giant Rough and Tumble sparring gym or dojo, you don't want these young'uns coming over here and grabbing the stuff. So with that in mind, he's tactically going to move and slip around the door and try to slip over to here. So we're going to need to do another hide in shadows and a move silently check for him to see if these guys notice him. Fortunately, the shadows aren't going to catch him. So hide in shadows is 68, 66, whew, just barely, and his move silently is 83, 45. So he's able to pull that off. If he hadn't pulled that off, he could have had all these guys collapse on him. So he's concealed himself over here by this torch. The shadow's hitting the side of the spear rack. No one sees him. He can see the whole room, and he's going to stay planted. Mercedes is going to just charge in the front room. So the moment she comes step in the room and she's got her sword in her hand, she's just going to run forward and take a big sweeping swing at these guys here and try to hit every single one of these guys. With her two-handed sword, she could probably hit both of these. Now, Antolo's hot on the heels, so he's just going to barge into the room right behind her. But as soon as he gets in the room, he's got to wait for her to finish her swing, and then he's going to try to move over this way, but he can't move just yet. So this is what I want to do, what we call rolling for surprise. A lot of times you see me do initiative rolls where you do a 3d6 roll for the monsters just flat out. What I'm going to do this situation, I'm only going to give them a roll 2 die because they're completely flat-footed and occupied. So this group here, okay, these guys don't know what's going on yet. This group here has only got a 4. And Mercedes is prepared. I'm going to give her a bonus of 2. So she's easily surprised these guys. And so she get a free swing. I'm going to allow her to swing her weapon broad and wide enough with both feet spread, 1 foot forward with her right hand to swipe at both these guys. So what do we got? Let's get back into some nastiness. If you're going to have combat, you got to have some kind of like combat tune going, right? So let's get some combat music going for fun. No more creepy ambient background music. So we're just going to put this here. There we go. And we'll always more fun when you hear that, like a radio show. Okay, so what does she need to hit these guys? Now these guys were wearing absolutely nothing. There's no additional dexterity checks or anything like that. Let's get this ugly eraser off the screen. We're going to pop in a little closer so you can really kind of think about this. Relive the moment. Half the fun is watching guys die up close, right? Even if they're just tokens. So we're really going to give you some light on this one. Let's see this scene here with good lighting. There we go. Whoops, sorry about the camera bump. And I'm going to adjust the overall view for you because things are going to get nasty quick. Real nasty. There we go. Now we can see the hallway. And let's put this down to here, just about here. Now, what I'm going to do, there probably won't be any more dex checks or anything like that. Now, if there is, I'll go back to it. But for now, I'll leave this up. That way you can see everyone's, ooh, who should be doing what, and we'll see what's going to happen. All right, Mercedes, here's your big chance. AC 10. Easy roll for her, right? So she only needs a 6 to hit 0. So the only way she's going to miss is if she rolls a 1. And because these two guys are in such proximity, it's going to be the same roll to follow through. So that's a 7. So she easily hits the first two guys. And against that that size enemy is 3 to 18 plus 5. If you look here, we see we got her numbers here. This is against large classes. This is against medium and small. So 3 to 18 is 3d6. but players get pretty dice. Let's not use the ugly black dice. That's for the bad guys. 3d6. 6 and 5 is 11, plus another 6 is 17. Let's just check our evil, diabolical, magical DM book with all their chicken scratches in it. You got to have one of these, right? Whoops, I hope you saw something from another room. How many of these kids we got here, right? What do we got? Ooh, bunch of 26, 24 health. These are the fellows with the weapons. These are the young MMA giants, right? Let's just laugh about them. Okay, these guys are only hit die 4. They need a 15 to hit a armor class 0. Yes, this means something to me, and this is actually the room. These are just my behind-the-scene notes for fun. So, let's see which guy got hit. So, let's just call it Billy and Johnny, or Grug and Grunk. Okay, Grug and Grunk just get splattered. So, there go Grung, and there go Grunk. They've just been completely blown open. They're dead, absolutely splattered on the spot. Nothing they can do about it. That builds a lot of confidence for her. That also allows her to take a step forward and give her a chance to swing at this guy by stepping on top of the 2 fallen guys. And then we're going to deal with how these guys react, and I'm going to talk about what he's going to do. So she's got the initiative. She just slaughtered 2 guys in 1 swing. The other guy's like, huh? Maybe he was seating. Maybe he was getting back up. I'm going to give this guy a 3d6 roll against a 6 dexterity. If he can roll 6 or less total, then he's ready to take a swing back or do a morale check. In this situation, you got your buds hanging out in the room with you, and this big girl comes in the front door. Even though she slaughtered your 2 best friends, you're going to try to do a double leg, right? If you're a wrestler in the MMA, that's what he's going to try to do. So that's a terrible roll for him. So he had a 3 and a 6 and a 14. This is a like, huh? Pardon my loud voice there. So she's going to get another swipe at the next guy. So once again, only she rolls a 1 is she going to miss. Oh! What is up with this party, man? They have bad luck. Sorry, I sound like a school kid there. So this is like a flub attack. When these kind of things happen, basically she takes that 2-handed sword and she's ready to step a foot forward. She puts her foot on dead Grunk and her foot slips. And I'm going to have to make her make a dexterity check, make sure she doesn't fall flat on her butt. So to do a dex check, I'm going to do it with a d20. Okay? And we need to go back to her character sheet real quickly. I'm going to get this combat moving fast because it's going to be really fun. So her dexterity is what? We got 16 strength, 16 intelligence, 14 wisdom, 15 dexterity. 15 or less, okay? A 1. So that means she's able to maintain her balance, but her swing completely misses this guy. So she's off balance. He can now decide whether to attack, but we need to deal with these 5 here. These 2 have gotten back up to their feet, and they're considering what to do, but they really want to see what the 2 older fellows who are teenagers with weapons do. And obviously, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to rush forward and push this guy out of the way, and he's going to be like, oh, no, I got to get out of the way. But because she flubbed this attack so bad, I won't give her, in later rule sets, they call it an attack of opportunity. He's disengaging, which usually means a free swing. It's the same kind of thing. But in this situation, these 2 guys are going to come in and take a swipe at her. And I'm not going to give her an initiative roll against them. That movement that they did could have happened before. So, what's Mercedes got? Mercedes got armor class of -2. According to my evil diabolical book here, these guys are hit die 6. Hit die 6. What do they need to hit AC 0? They need a 14. So they need a 16 to hit her. So we'll do a blue one for this guy, and we'll do this ugly blue one for that one. What did I say? Need a 14? Hitting 0 is a 14, so they need a 16, excuse me. There's a 16, so this guy lands a hit on her. What weapons did they were using? Big clubs, okay? I'm just going to give this a 1d8 roll. The reason why is these guys aren't mature. They're just like a big person, a really big human being. So it's not like they're using some gigantic weapon. So 1d8 of damage is 1, all right? That's crap. That's just a glancing blow on the side of her pauldron. So I'm going to note that down on a piece of paper here real quick. So Mercedes taking like a barely nick. The other guy took a swing, didn't judge the distance well, completely missed her. So now all that's happened. He's moved out of the way. These guys are just going to go, huh? And he's going to move back. And this is kind of like a morale situation. These guys are like, what the devil's going on? They're going to start moving into the scene, brushing forward with lots of bravado, right? So these kids are moving out of the way. Now the guys that have the clubs are anxiously single filing, trying to push their young other siblings out of the way to come rushing forward. Because so far, what do they see? One girl with long red hair with a sword who flubbed an attack, who doesn't look super confident, and they think they have the numbers, and they think they'll be able to take her down, at least wrestle her to the ground, and then punch her to death. So what's Vaeringjar doing? Vaeringjar is going to continue to slide along the shadows here and start wiping these guys out from behind. At the other end of the map, we have the other two characters holding the door over this way here. Let me give you a quick view of that so you can see what we're talking about. So over here, this is just, let's do it this way. We'll just pull this way. Over here is guard the door, okay? So just guard the door. We're not going to jump in the door. We're not going to open the door because you never know what's going to happen in the hallway. Last thing we want to do is get trapped in this room. So let's go back this way. And we're going to move up a little bit. And let's get a chance to see what Vaeringjar is doing. And I'm just going to do another camera adjustment so you can get a good view of this. Alright. That's pretty good. I'll leave it like that for now. Okay. Maybe the background stuff's too much in the way. Alright, there we go. Need a cameraman. Okay, so you got Vaeringjar here. He doesn't really need to make this hide and shadows check. He did it really, really well before. He's just going to slip back around these guys. And what he's going to do is he's going to wipe out one of the armored dudes in the back first, because these ones, he doesn't think they're an issue. He saw they don't wear any armor. They're not going to do any damage. But he's going to take a swipe at one of these guys as he come back. So the other guys are armor class 6. What does Vaeringjar need to hit? Armor class 6. So it's going to be 6 off this number here. To hit AC 0 is a 12, so he only needs a 6. Now he's also striking from shadows. I could give him a bonus, but he's going to kind of move and do the attack. So the first hand is going to be -2, main hand. That's a 0. All right, so the first hand, main hand, his main hand attacks are tough. And his offhand is a 7, so that's going to hit easily. And his damage is going to be 1d8 plus 6. In this situation, times 4. I think that would pretty much kill anyone in the game. So 4 plus 6, this is 40 damage. This splatters this guy. The offhand's a splatterer tonight. The main hand's missing a lot. Maybe he's trying to attack too quickly. Because he slaughtered this guy so quickly, I'm going to have him do a morale check. And we'll just roll against intelligence 6. 6 or less. Nope. Fleeing towards the door. This guy here. Huh? Nope. Fleeing towards the door. Now, when he comes by him, he's going to turn and just swing and hit him from the side. So it's almost like you're trying to pass by me in my space. So I'm going to give Vaeringjar 2 more attacks to this guy going by. So we're going to give him, this is the main hand -2. Okay, the main hand misses again. His main hand's cursed today. Maybe then you switch weapons. And whoops, that rolled off the table. That's an 11. So the offhand hits this guy. This guy's completely unarmed. 1d8, but it's just a regular 1d8 plus 6 for him. So that's 7 plus 6 is 13. And guess who he was? That's this fella here. He's splattered. He's dead. This fella here got wiped out. He's dead. So they're slowly but surely chipping away at Chicken Scratch Book here. These are great. You got to get one of these. Okay. So this guy's splattered. He's splattered. These two are going to try to run away as well. Now that he's seen how this is happening, these guys are fleeing, he's going to make it his job to stop anyone getting to the door. All right? But we need to go back to Mercede and these two guys here, and we're going to roll for initiative between this group. And I'm going to give Antola his move. He's been waiting patiently at the table with his cold beer in his hand. Like, when do I get to do something? He's actually going to take a step forward and just swing at the guy with his flail. I mean, these aren't massively intimidating targets. I mean, sometimes being a cleric in the back and being a healer isn't necessarily the coolest thing in the world, right? Sometimes you want to go in there and power bash the devil out of someone. So for him, you know, to hit AC 0, he needs a 10. These guys were what, AC 6? So just add 4 to that. Take 4 away. He only needs a 6. And a 1. Man, these guys are unlucky. This is an absolute flub. And so in this situation, he takes his flail and his shield, and he holds the shield up. He goes, whoom, and swings the whole flail. I'm going to actually make him take an extra step, and I'm going to give this guy a chance to swing him as he goes by, losing balance. So what we're going to do is if I roll a 5 or less in this D20, that's about a 20% chance. 25% chance. A 5 out of 20 is 25. 10 out of 20 is 50%. So I'm going to give him a 25% chance to get a free swing at him as he loses this flubbed attack. Let's roll this up here. So he didn't make that chance, but his attention is diverted. So he's going to go after him, and then we're going to do an initiative check between these two here, right? So we're going to get this guy here, the teenage giant. What's he got? 2 is 4, plus 4 is 8. And let's give Mercede her roll. 6, 6, 12, 13. No problem. She gets to go next. Her swing is right away. Once again, it's a two-hander. Let's find another D20 for her. All right? We got plenty of these things. Here we go. Give her a blue roll. So, as you see before, it's fun to look at the pictures, I think. It's cooler that way. Did AC 6, AC 0, she needs a 6 or less. So that's a 19. This is going to be a complete splatter. I can tell already. So that's a 3d6 plus 5. Okay. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Plus 5, 18 damage. Let's see if that's enough to kill these guys. These guys are on the low 20s. It's not. This guy's 21. So he's going to have like 3 hit points left. Okay. So he's still alive. Pretty damaged. I'm going to give this guy a swing at him. Now, what do these fellas need to hit AC 0? They only need a 14, but our cleric here, Antola, is heavily armored. I'm going to take away his shield bonus, though. So I'm just going to get him down to -2 because he really flubbed that flail attack. He's right-handed. The shield's on the other side, so it's almost like his back is exposed. He's trying to recover from the attack. So I'm going to give these guys if he rolls a 16 or higher, he's going to hit him. So that's a 9. So this guy with his big, fancy, stupid club takes a swing. He just goes kunk off the side of his armor. And now these two are back to ground zero as if nothing's happened. In the meantime, we've got more movement happening here. And what's our druid been doing? I think our druid's going to play it safe and just come here and look in the room and watch the room and push the door open further. Now, there's been about 18 seconds have gone by, right? So she's just going to push the door open all the way and stand in the doorway. And Obscura's kind of by herself. So she's going to kind of move to here because she's very nervous. She doesn't want to get engaged in this kind of business until you really need her to come in there and do something very nasty. So let's see. If you were the druid, you're playing the druid. You're standing in the doorway. Mercedes going to obviously slaughter him. The cleric will probably slaughter him. Vaeringjar is going to be chasing these guys this way. You can always tell his back's turned to chase him down. We've got other dudes rushing forward that now divert their attention towards the cleric. In your mind, this cleric is about to get swarmed. What are you going to do? You're the druid. You're playing the druid. What do you do? You're not going to cast any of these spells. You're not going to cast Call Lightning. You're not going to do Wild Horses. There's no real need to do that. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to move into position and attack this guy from behind because he doesn't see you. So this is only 5, 10, 15, 20. Now, we didn't do a move for her for a while because I'm not going around the table. So I'm going to go ahead and give her the opportunity to move here and take a swing. Now, she's got this Moonlight Scimitar. It does pretty decent damage. The AC 0, she needs a 12. So she only needs a 6. So she's a girl. She needs a girl-colored die. Let's get the purple one for her. Okay, she only needs a 6. So 13, which is always higher, which is fine. So her damage is going to be 1d8 plus 2. Let's see what we got here. Give her the same color. 1d8 plus 2, that's a 5. This guy has not been previously damaged. So that's going to put him at -5. That puts him at 16 health. Okay? I'm actually not cheating. So, everyone's taking a move here. Cleric is here. We're going to roll for initiative these guys, roll for initiative these guys. Let's go back over to Vaeringjar and let him do some more child care. Let's call it that. So let's go swinging back over here. And let's see if we can give you a good view of that. All right. So, this first guy ran past him. He's going to attack him first, attack this guy second, and then close the gap with this guy cornered. So these guys aren't defending themselves, aren't doing anything. It's like AC 0. So we're just going to let's get Vaeringjar's sheet up so you can see his numbers. He's going to try to main hand, offhand this guy, but he's going to actually attack with his offhand first because you can tell a lot of his main hand's been missing. So he's going to go offhand first, a natural 20. It's not a backstab, but I'm almost tempted to roll this and double damage it just to see what happens. There's no need for him to do anything else. It's going to blow this guy up. And 8 times 2 is 16. Actually, it's 8 plus the bonus damage of 6, which is 14 times 2, which is 20. There was one dead, splattered, slid along the floor. Hill Giant probably rolled to a stop against the door. If I was this guy here, I probably would have peed myself by now. My entire group is being systematically slaughtered by these crazy-looking characters and bunch of humans. Umans are killing everyone. These guys don't know this has happened. They can hear the cries and yell in the background, but they're confident that they're the tougher ones. They're the older ones. They're not going to morale break with that. This guy's in the middle. I'm just going to have him shiver in fear in the middle, okay? He doesn't know what to do. So let's come back over here. Let's get the camera view on the right party now. Let's see what we got with this melee over here. This is a mess. Always reminds me of a Conan the Barbarian novel, just wading through baddies. 1,000 orcs, right? So, Mercedes going to step forward, take a swipe at this guy here. They were like AC 4? AC 6, excuse me. What does Mercedes need to hit AC 6? Let's pull her up so you can see her again. A 2? A 3? Well, that's convenient. The prowess is not on point tonight, but it's 3d6 plus 5. Okay? 3d6, that two-handed sword as a cleave, overhand cleave, directly to split this guy's skull open. So that's a 9 plus 3 is 12, plus 5 is 17. That's nasty. That's nasty. This guy's completely dead. Dead on the spot, cleaved in half. Now with doing that, she maintained her footing position, so she hasn't taken a single step. Now we still have the druid against this guy, and these three guys are now arriving and swarming the cleric. And the cleric now has reestablished his balance, right? And this guy's wounded. So let's get an initiative roll between our cleric and the three fellows surrounding him with clubs. Maybe they'll hit each other by accident. So, whoops. Let's give this group a group initiative roll. 5, 5, 10, 11, 12. And then we have 11 and 14. Okay, so our cleric wins the initiative roll against these three jokers. So you now imagine you're playing him, right? That was just such a bad roll, and you really, really, really want to hit one of these guys in the head. And you've got really good armor, and you got a beautiful kite shield, and you got a flail. These are just a bunch of dummies with clubs. What are you going to do? I'm going to stand my ground. I see Mercedes out of the corner of my eye that she's going to come plowing in this way. I'm actually going to take a one step here and go for this guy right off the bat. That will put that puts things in a tactical position, so Mercedes can take a step here, and the druid can finish wiping this guy out. But Mercedes and the druid have had conflict, remember? There's a little personality conflict happening earlier, so she doesn't have confidence the druid can handle it. So she's going to be a little arrogant here and stick on this target. That means our cleric's going to go one-on-one against this guy. So to hit AC 0, our cleric needs a 10, right? This is right down here. So he needs a 10. These guys are armor class 6, so take 4 away, so he needs a 6. So what do we got for him? A 16. Good solid hit. That flail does 2 to 8 plus 4 damage against guys that are large. So that's going to be 2 4-sided dies. Okay, there's a 2 and a 3. You always read the top number on the 4-sided die, not the ones on the bottom. And 2 and 3 is 5. Plus the 4 is a 9. This guy has not been damaged at all. So I'm not going to cheat. These guys are up here. Let's get this down to -9. So that puts us at 15. I'm not going to name this guy because it'll just be a name like Thunk or something, right? So Thunk is down to 15. This guy here is now out of position, so he's going to take a one step here, and I'm going to allow him to attack. He's had plenty of time to jostle his feet position, and he actually is going to try to go and take a one step and swarm the cleric. They seem to be confident that the three of us are going to take this guy out, push him against the corner, up against the wall. There's a torch behind him. These two over here are wiping out our friend, but they'll buy us enough time we can kill him, and then we can turn and deal with the girls, right? That's what these big dummies are thinking. All right. So we're going to do this for you. Okay. So all three guys get an attack. Armor class is -4. They need a 16 to hit. They need natural 20s. Okay? So there's one roll. 13. Nope. Another roll. 3. Nope. Last roll. 5. Nope. Sometimes it pays to have great AC, doesn't it? So all three of the guys engaged him and took an attack. The cleric's going to counterattack, but we need to go resolve combat with these two here. Remember, she attacked previously. Mercedes wiped a guy out, so I'm going to get the druid attack next. So the druid's trying to hit AC 6. What does she need here? With her scimitar, she's just going to melee the guy. She needs a 12 to hit AC 0. So you add 4 to that, take the 4 away. So then she's an 8. That's an 18. That's a brilliant hit for her. And her damage is 1 to 8 plus 2. 6 plus 2. And let's just check our little character sheet here for that guy. This guy was down to 16, so he's down to 6. So Thunk or whatever his name was, or Think or whatever, or Clunk or whatever his name was, he's down to 8 health left. He's pretty damaged, heavily damaged. That's gonna be a morale break for him, in my opinion. A little bit of tactical wargaming type of play. We're gonna give Mercede a swing at him as well. Let's see what we got here for her. What does she need to hit this dude? I'm gonna give her a +2 bonus because she's flanking. Okay, that's an easy hit. And her damage is 3d6 plus 5. Yep, 7, 8, 9 plus 5, splattered. And, you know, Mercede probably intentionally swing that two-handed sword with her right hand, and so that when she does the follow-up move that all the blood splatters against the face of the druid. That's going to be a charisma problem later. So what I want to do is there's an attitude forming between these two characters, and I'm going to do a comparison contrast between the charisma to see if anyone's emotionally affected or holds a grudge or anything. So Mercede's going to, whoever rolls a higher number is the person that is, if Mercedes rolls a high number, then she's exerting her attitude and personality. If the druid rolls a high number, she's not affected by it. All right? So Mercedes rolls a 2, the druid rolls a 5. The druid's like, whatever. I'm not impressed. I'm neutral. I don't care about what you've done. What I care about is my friend. So the druid's actually going to take a step, ignore Mercedes, and attack this guy from the back. You got to add that kind of flavor to your characters, otherwise you're just a bunch of Diablo robots. So she's going to hit this guy from behind. She would normally need a 12 to hit AC 0. This is going to be AC 8 because he's not protecting himself and not actively defending against her. She doesn't get a backstab bonus. So you're going to go ahead and take away 8 from that 12 to make it a 4. So a 4 or higher on the D20. That's an 18. Easy hit. Her damage is going to be 1d8 plus 2. 4 plus, that's 6. And let's see where he is. Oh, that guy's dead. So that's just enough to kill him. So he's going to slump to the floor, maybe take a step and go, ugh. All right, let's go back to this. Let's go jump back over to Vaeringjar again real quick, okay? Because you got to keep everything moving equally and fairly. All right. Slaughter time. This is what this guy relishes and stuff. He just look at him. Just are you looking at this guy? Look at him. Does the guy look like he wants to kill these guys or not? Absolutely, absolutely. This guy's completely going to be dead meat. Main hand -2. That's a 19. That's an easy hit. 19. 2 19s. Oh boy, here comes the nasty damage on this one. This is going to be 1d8 plus 6. So we're going to roll 1d8 and add a 6, and 1d8 and add a 6. That's 12 and 11. 11 and 12 is 22. And unfortunately, Freddy, or Fred, whatever you want to call him, he's dead. So he didn't make it. That's such a... I'm going to give him a chance to take one step. This guy's cornered. And let's give a little morale check here. This guy's terrified. If he can roll a 2, well, that's not possible with 3d6. So it's going to be a complete failure. So what I'm going to do, unless I roll all 6s, this guy's completely terrified in fear and just gives up. Well, that's not bad, but that's not good enough. So this guy's completely has no fear whatsoever. He does have fear, excuse me. He's totally terrified. Crouching to the floor. Vaeringjar gets 2 swings at him. Easily dispatches him, kills him on the spot. I'm not going to roll the damage. He's dead right there on the spot. Nothing to do about it. Nothing defending himself. So this guy here realizes what's going on, and he's just going to try to slink along the wall. But he realizes he just sees what happens over here, and then he thinks he's going to just try to make a run for it and run this way. So as he's running this way, Mercedes sees this out of the corner of her eye, and she's going to try to cut him off, okay? So she sees this guy morale breaking, trying to make it towards the door. Remember, our door is over here to the left? All right, cool. So she's going to turn and intercept him. Let's give a quick little initiative roll for the baddie. So 6 and 3, 9, and 1 is 10. And Mercedes has, let's get her sheet up real quick. I'll get faster at this over time. So her dexterity is, what do you got? Strength, intelligence, wisdom, dexterity 15. There's no real bonus to this or anything. She got a +1. It is a +1. It's not a reaction bonus. That's a defensive bonus. So we have 10, 6, 11. Okay, so she's able to cut him off. And that's going to let her attack first. Okay, so it's almost like an initiative roll and can you pull it off kind of a roll. So to hit AC 6, what do we need to do here? let's get this, let's turn that off. We had enough of that business. All right, so, okay, back to what we're doing. Let's take a swing at this guy. A 7, that's still enough to hit him, and the damage is going to be 3d6 plus 5. 3d6 plus 5. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus 5, 14. And this guy has 16 health, so it's not really enough to kill him flat out. Not really enough to kill him flat out. That's going to put him down to 2, right? And we got this guy got splattered over here, and he's the last guy left alive. This guy splattered too. So there's one of the unarmed wrestler dudes still alive, the jiu-jitsu hill giants, and there's 2. One of them's down to 15. Let's pull this down so you can see it. And we got one guy who hasn't really been hit yet. So let's deal with them with the cleric. So we need to roll initiative for the druid and this pack over here. Now the druid attacked this guy and killed him from behind, so I'm going to allow her to take a 1-step and attack him flanking as well. But I want to give this this hill giant a chance to react to that. So let's give him an initiative roll of 9, 10, 11, 12. And let's give her a roll as well, 4, 5, 6. 6 and 5 is 11. So this is 9, this is 12 and 11. So he actually is able to turn and face her to defend himself. But she moved first. He just reacted and turned. Now they're going to attack. Let's just call it a simultaneous attack. So this is the druid's attack, is a 6. This is his attack is 11. He completely misses. Her 6 might hit him. Might hit him. 12 minus 6. Now she barely hits him. So they swing each other simultaneously. And her damage against him is going to be 1d8 plus 2. That's only 4 damage. And that is going to put him down to 11. All right. Now, this guy over here against the cleric again. Let's get these out of the way. And Vaeringjar is going to start zipping onto the screen here like a maddened Viking to come in from behind, and this guy's going to get wiped out. So let's have the cleric at a swing against him and the hill giant swing against him at the same time. So we're going to do 2 die rolls here. We'll do this purple one for the hill giant, the young one, 11, and a 17. Now, 11 for a hill giant against AC 4. Is that possible? Is he going to do that? Let's see that. They need 14 to hit AC 0, so he would have needed 4 more points. So he would have needed 18. So the hill giant's roll, which is this 11, is not good enough, and his 17 is good enough. So our cleric's damage is going to be 2d8, which is 2 4-sided dice, plus 4. A 4 and a 2. Remember, you read the top numbers on the little triangular pyramid dice, 4-sided dice. So a 4 and a 2 is a 6, plus 4 is 10. This guy has 26 health, so that's going to put him down to 16. Yep, we're still keeping track of things. We're not cheating. See, we got 10 left on him. All right. So Vaeringjar's on the scene. Free swing from behind. This is going to be over quick. That's a -2 roll. It's a main hand. Offhand for a 9. That's easily going to hit this guy. He's going to be dead meat. I'm going to give him a backstab bonus on this too because he's just that good. 1d8 plus 6. 1d8. Oh, it's a 6. 1d8 plus 6 plus 1 is a 7. Times 4 is 28. Splattered. So that's such a confident kill that now we have all this going on, and Mercedes going to get to finish this swing against this guy here. Okay? So let's see what her attack does. A natural 20. I'm not even going to roll the dice. This guy's blown open. There's no way that wouldn't kill him. One guy's left. Okay? I've got the assassin just murdered my best friend. I got the crazy druid with the antlers right next to me. She's got a scimitar gleaming with moonlight. I got this heavily armored cleric around me. Everyone around me is dead. Some of my friends have been eviscerated. There's blood on the ground. This guy's just going to drop his defenses and just drop the club. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll 3d6 and see if he actually will surrender. So if he rolls a 1 or 2, let's give him, let's see, 3d6. Let's give him 6 or less. He fights. Higher than that, he surrenders. He surrenders. He just like puts his hands up. The druid is neutral but hates these types of humanoids. She's just going to skewer him from behind because he deserves it. It's just the way of the world. So that's a free hit. And she is, let's just go down to our quick cheat sheet so you can see everybody's numbers. This is where it's convenient to have everyone's numbers there in front of you. So Filtrina is 1d8 plus 2 against this size target. 9, so he's dead later, dude. Boom. That was a nasty fight. Took a long time. Let's slow it back down here and calm things down just a little bit. All right. Obscura comes in the room. Let's zoom the camera out so you can see the whole scene. Now, poor Mercede and Zollers, they haven't been able to participate in this battle, but they did their job, right? They kept their... Sometimes you got to do a job. Mercede and Zollers the whole time been holding the door. They hear the fighting, and then the fighting stops. They're going to push the door open. Zollers is going to have to kind of push the door hard to, like, push this corpse out of the way. Push this corpse out of the way because this door's got 2 dead dudes laying up against it. So both these corpses get kind of flumped out of the way into the corner. And then he pushes here, and then she stays in the hallway right in the threshold, and then he comes in. So Vaeringjar is going to... The first thing he's going to do is just go check every single corpse to make sure everyone's really dead. All right? So he's just going to do that. So we're just going to put him temporarily here. Mercedes going to immediately get to the middle of the room to assess her command ability. The cleric's going to take a step forward. I don't think anyone took any damage at all this entire fight. And Obscura's going to kind of rush over here to rejoin her brothers and sisters. And the druid is also going to kind of go with Vaeringjar and just check and make sure everyone's dead. So, does Elafonissi hear anything? That was a lot of fighting, but it wasn't really loud. Because remember, in one of the rooms down the hallway, there's kind of like this feast or party or something going on, and you can't really hear it very well from this. You kind of hear a bunch of banging and clanging behind this wall here. So they hear this banging and clanging, but it's so loud that any kind of fight that happened here didn't really make a bunch of noise, and all the enemies kind of fought to the death, and they weren't screaming in pain and yelling because they were all killed pretty quickly. And it was all like, oh, I take a swing at you, I'm going to be able to kill you, and then, oh, I'm dead. So they didn't really get a chance to react to any of this. But if you remember carefully, what's happened over here, right? Now, I did a check for this earlier without saying anything. I'm going to do another check here in the background. Ah, okay. We'll see what happens with that. I'm going to do a hear noise check for her, see if she heard that. So let's go back to her. Where's Elafonissi? Here she is. Hear noise check. What do we got? 30%. I'll eventually have these memorized. When you play them long enough, you'll memorize them. 30% chance to hear the noise that I just determined behind the scenes. 99. No way. She didn't hear anything. She's too distracted. In fact, I'm even going to have her feel lulled into the room to see what's going to happen next and kind of not do what she was supposed to be doing. And this door over here is going to creak open. So this door here is going to get creaked open. And what we're going to do, we're going to change that like this. Okay? And we're going to change this torchlight. So this door opens up. And the torch smoke pulls into here. And there's a step or two, like someone shuffling their feet in the hallway. So to be fair, there's an open doorway here. There's a line of sight maybe to here, but there's no shadow. I'm going to give him a chance to like, whoa, did I just hear something? So see if Zollers heard anything. All right? He's not the smartest guy in the whole world, but we're going to give him a d20 roll to see if he heard anything. A 13. You know, his intelligence 11, I'm just going to say no. He didn't hear anything. So let me check something from my end real quick. DM magic time, right? All right, I'm going to do another d20 roll. And just for your participation, if this is 10 or higher, some baddies are coming out of here, okay? Nope, it's a 5. So no baddies are coming out, and the door just kind of swings back closed again as if nothing happened. And you actually have the door clunk closed. Bam. Now I think everyone's going to hear that. These people will hear that sound, that radius, that sound clunk here. They might hear it. When he hears that sound, she hears that sound, she goes and peeks around the corner. He comes a step here, and you can tell that the door closed. He's going to hand signal to his friends. Vaeringjar's going to turn and look back over. He's immediately going to move quickly and rapidly over to this area here. And where's the druid? The druid's going to slip around here and completely ignore doing anything with the room. Now, this is one of those situations where Mercedes like, listen, these tiger nomads are running around as a pack and doing what they want to do. They're being stealthy, but I'm not maintaining my sense of command. So I want to do a charisma check for her. If she can roll 17 or lower, she's okay with it. All right. If she fails that check, then she's gonna have an issue with it. Okay, so she rolls. She's okay with it. This one situation doesn't really bother. She looks like they're investigating some noise, and she's confident it's no big deal. So she's like, let's search the room. So the druid's gonna head over here. Obscura's gonna head over here, and she's gonna go back down here this hallway and investigate the room. Let's see what they find. So, there's tons of spears and clubs, lots of boulders, a bunch of half-eaten beef jerky snacks are thrown in a corner. Imagine your children throwing garbage and stuff and hiding it underneath their bed. The whole place is just full of garbage. The same thing over here. It just looks like a bunch of stinky, sweaty towels were never washed. There's a couple pyres of clothes thrown on the floor, but there's nothing really of value. The whole room just seems to be almost like just a gym that's never cleaned. So it doesn't smell that great. So with that being said, we're going to shift the camera over to here and take a look at what's happening over here. Let's zoom in a little closer. So this is where things are getting interesting. So we're just going to go back to Elafonissi. So Elafonissi is going to come to the hallway and come to this door. Zolars is going to come out, and Vaeringjar is going to come out and get next to her because he feels more confident with his thieving abilities. And he tells her to, no, stay back. Let me check this out. So here's what he's going to do. He's going to go up to the door. He's not trying to hide in shadows. He's just going to try to move silently. And he's going to try to hear noise and see if he can determine what he thought he saw in there or heard in there. Because they all heard the door closed, right? So he's trying to move silently first, which is 83%. So we got to do a percentile roll for him. 83 or less. Yes, easily move silently. And the hear noise check is also a percentile roll. The hear noise is really low. It's 30%. You got to sit there and listen for a second or two. Breathing, okay? Labored, heavy, deep breathing, but can't tell if it's another set of hill giant kids or if it's something else. It's not an animal. Doesn't really seem to be an animal. But he's just going to signal to her that it's breathing. And she's going to do the same thing. She's going to check and see if she can hear what that is as well. So can she hear? What's her hear noise number? Hear sound 60. That's hide and shadow, excuse me. Hear noise 30%, just like his. Nope, 42. She can't tell what it is, but they know there's something in there. And Zolars is like, listen, let's do it. Let's go in the room and do it. The druid comes out and she's like, listen, we gotta watch the flank. Why don't you? I'll watch the flank. Zolars, Mercedes like, okay, you can go in first. Hide in shadows. Go check it out first. These two have done checking the room, and they're trying to catch up to everyone to find out what's going on, what's happening here, what's happening. When she gets to the hallway here, Mercedes like, shh, be quiet, be quiet. They're pointing at the door, using hand signals. The druid's like, be quiet, be quiet. So Mercedes is just going to watch, and the cleric and the obscure are going to stay back in the room that they were in. So we're going to do the same situation. These big, heavy doors, he's going to try to open this door over here and see if he can open it as quietly as possible. So the best way to do that is really kind of a dexterity check for him. So he's a high dexterity guy of 17. So if we roll a 17 or less, he's going to do it fine. A 1, that's perfect. So he's going to open this doorway, and I'm going to have to pull another map. So hang on with me for just a minute while he slip maps, because he's able to slip in to this room undetected. And we could just remove these bad boys off the board, and we'll be right back in 20 seconds. Okay, do a little quick DM cleanup. Everyone can go get themselves a Mountain Dew or a beer. So give me 20 seconds to clean up this mess. All these dead guys everywhere. We'll wipe this board down, and we're going to just need our party. We'll put them up here for the time being. And then we've got Vaeringjar by himself in this room. We'll let you know what he's seeing, and we can figure out what we're going to do to deal with that next. So let's just wipe this down, get the glass all clean. Cool. That didn't take long. Drawing the map ahead of time makes it much easier. So he's opened the door. He's moved silently. He's hidden in shadows. What does he see? You got Wilbur and Stinkbur sleeping, and this other guy's kind of awake in the bed. It looks like he just sat down and he's thinking about rolling over, and he's just about to set his club down. So, but since he's hiding in shadows far enough away, this guy doesn't really see him. Now I think there's torches burning in here, right? So here's a torch. So you got the torch smoke drizzling along this way. This is a rack with a bunch of spears on it. This is just a room number for me. These are all bunk beds. Not bunk beds, but big barracks beds. And at the end of each one of these bunk beds is a little chest, like a foot locker. So think of something like you'd see in a military movie, like Full Metal Jacket or whatever. It's like that, but for giant-sized guys. So these are two hill giants completely asleep, covered in blankets, because remember, it's kind of a rainy night out there. And this guy's still awake, but he doesn't see him. So I'm not going to draw the other room, but he's going to motion to his friends to come in. So he's going to come into here and move really quietly and get in position next to this guy. Kind of reminds me of Lord of the Rings scene. And Elafonissi is going to slip in here, and we need to do a move silently check to make sure that he doesn't see her. Okay? Not see her, but hear her. And this will be our last room for the night's run. So, here we go. There she is. All right. You hear the rain and the water dripping through the leaky roof. Move silently is 83%, something like that. Let's give her a roll. 81, barely. Now, she's not going to try to hide in shadows. She's just moving silently. And I'm actually, because she's a monk and moves quickly, I'm actually going to allow her to try and move silently up and over and up and over and up and over every bed to get to this point here. But in order to do that, it's a little avant-garde. I want to make her do a dexterity check, right? 17 or less, and she does it fine. So she takes a step on the first part of the first bed, and her slipper slips on the cover of the fur, and she goes ugh and slips, and puts her hand down to try to catch herself. That's like a complete flub. It's something really cool in your mind you thought was going to be great. You try to do it and pull it off, and it made noise. So this is the closest gentleman, and no, he's not really a gentleman, closest hill giant, this one here. I'm going to give all three of these guys a chance to see if they heard the thump sound. Now remember, they're used to hearing the young ones down the hallway fighting and wrestling, so a thump sound isn't going to make a big impact on them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a d20 for each guy. If they get a 5 or less on any of them, 5 or less, someone heard something enough to kind of like look over, okay? Here you go. 20, 15, and 16. So no one, she didn't wake anyone up. Very, very lucky. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3. Now she's going to be extra careful this time and take her time, because the first time she almost slipped and ruined everything, and Vaeringjar's like, oh my god, please don't wake everyone up. I want to kill these guys. Let's give her another move silently check. 57, she's fine. So she's in position. Now the rest of the group's going to kind of slip into the room as well. Zollers is going to come in the room. Now he's not a thief, so he's going to kind of walk as quietly as he can to be here and stop. The druid's going to move into here as well. She sees Elafonissi, and she's actually going to move past without trace, basically kind of move it to here. I'm going to give her a quick little dex check. Just make sure nothing crazy. That's fine. He's in position. He's in position. Mercede and Antola Obscura are out of the room. So if you remember what the room looked like in the hallway, it kind of extended up this way, right? And this was only a 10-unit hallway. So technically, it was like this. Do you remember all that? All right. So they're out in the hallway, and there was actually a torch burning in the hallway, if I remember correctly, and some columns and beams here. So Mercedes now in the doorway. Let's let Antola get over here. No one's watching the flank, really, but Obscura. Not a good place for her to be. All right, moment of truth. Free attack on a sleeping guy. You can roll a 20 just to see if it's quad damage as a backstab, and you do roll a natural 20, it's double. Okay, so that's quad damage on him. He's going to be immediately dead, and I'm going to roll the dice. She's going to open hand attack him twice. So his AC is an easy roll. We're just going to roll a 20 to make sure that she doesn't flub it. Okay, 1 means you miss. Where's my other 20-sided die? Where we go? Here we go. Give her 2 rolls. Oh, there's a 1. So we've got 11, which is an easy hit, which is 3 to 13. 3 to 13 is a 1d10 plus 3. The other night I was doing this 3d4. That was wrong. So let's do 1d10 plus 3. 6 plus 3 is 9. So this is the barracks room. So what do we got in the barracks room here? Barracks room, hit points 39, 38, and 38. So what do we just do? 9 to one of them? So we'll assign this guy this. That puts him at 29 health. And the other guy's 39, another one's at 38. So he's awake, punched in the eardrum perhaps. It's going to wake him up because he's going to go, oh my ear, make a bunch of noise. So that's his chance to come rushing forward and come straight to him. Vaeringjar is going to actually try to take a step forward and quickly come over to here as best he can, but as soon as she started to attack and realized that her attack just conked him in the ear and didn't kill him flat out, he's going to come rushing forward to prevent him from like raising an alarm or grabbing something that's going to cause a bunch of noise. So Zollars has to make kind of a decision, and he decides this one time at the last second with Vaeringjar coming in to veer off and then come over and attack this guy. So next round, equal round, this guy's in the bed. He's going to try to get up out of bed and grab his club and step to this side of the bed, which means she's going to give the option of a free attack, and he's just going to leap around the edge of the bed and get a free attack. Since you hit him in the ear and it's such a fail hit, she's going to pull her staff off her back and swing over this way to cut him off. This guy here is going to get a roll initiative versus Vaeringjar, and we're going to give Vaeringjar a percentage chance to get over those beds without slipping and flubbing it too. So for that, let's give him a dex check, okay? He's a 17 dexterity. A 7, that's fine. So these two engaged in combat, engage in melee, engage in melee. Who gets to go first here? Monster initiative rolls are always black. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is Vaeringjar. Let's get Vaeringjar sheet up so you can see it. And and you really need to have some good music if you're going to have combat, right? Let's figure that out too. Something cool, high-paced again. There we go. There we go. That'll work. All right. So 4, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7. Ooh. So Vaeringjar, all the climbing over the beds, everything. This guy's like, I got my club. I'm going to get you. So what does these guys need to hit? To hit AC 0, they need a 12. Vaeringjar's AC -2, so they need a 14. He's going to get one big heavy swing with his club, right? A 15. So he actually nails him. He hits him with the club. This is the club damage is 2d8, so that's pretty nasty. 2 to 16. 3 and 4. That's not a very nasty hit. So let me just make a note on my little character thing that Vaeringjar's taken. We can do that this way on the board with a marker for you. So he's at 80 hit points. He takes 8, so he's at 72. So just be V equals 72. All right? Don't worry, it's not a derivative. We're not doing calculus. All right. So now we get a basic attack one-on-one against these two. Let's give him an initiative roll too. Whoops, sorry. And let's give, that's the giant's roll. And this is Zollars' roll. So 5, 6, 7 plus 4 is 11. 4, 5, 6, 7. So Zollars gets to go first. What does Zollars need to hit this guy? He's not flat-footed. He's not wearing his armor. Anything but a 1's going to hit. Okay? Okay, there's a 4. That's an easy hit. And against a big guy like him, there's 1d10 plus 1 plus 10 because he has his burning glaive. He hasn't had a chance to hit anyone with it yet, so this is going to be fun. We hit someone in the last fight, last episode. That was right. Let's see. We need a 10-sided die. Where are they at? Where are we at? Here we go. So that's a 10. Plus 1 is 11. Plus a 1d8 in fire damage. As 4 is 15. So we got, let's going to say HG1, HG2, and the other guy's dead. We don't worry about him. This guy here, he took 16. That puts him down to 22. Okay, great. So in summary, this guy's at 22. and we can have Elafonissi jump on top of the bed and take a swing with her staff. All right, Ella, what can you do? You've not been doing good so far, kid. The Bastion of Night Staff, this is when she really wants to nail something, doesn't want to take any chances. It's just one big swing with it, right? Hello. A 5. AC 0, she needs a 14. I don't know. If it was AC 7, that 14 would only be a 7, and then she needs a 5. But she's using the +4, so that weapon is actually, she needs 8 to hit AC 0, she needs a 10. So if this is AC 7, flat-footed guy, not flat-footed, but no armor, that's barely enough to hit him. So the weapon damage on that one is 1 to 6 +4. Not a lot of damage, but monks don't get any damage bonus or anything. So and this is just regular old staff damage, 1 to 6 +4, 7. So we're going to tick off another 7 from the 22. That puts him down to 15. Okay? All right. 15. Billy here is not doing good. Let's let these guys continue another round and rotate rounds. He hit him. He's going to get a chance to swing back at him, okay? So let's do it this way. Vaeringjar, let's have the giant go first. So what does this giant need to hit Vaeringjar? Vaeringjar is AC -2. They needed an AC to hit AC 0 is a 12. So it needs a 14 or higher. An 8. So he flubs the attack. Vaeringjar gets 2 attacks with his 2 black axes. Main hand will be red. Once again, we're going to keep trying to hold the faith here. Main hand -2. Okay. That's a 12. And that's a regular hit of 7. So these guys, he only needs a 6 to hit. So both of those are good solid hits. None of them are special or anything. And the damage is 1d8 +6. And there's 2 of those. So we need 2 8-siders. I got lots of dice. That's why it takes so long to get them out. Add 6 to that. Add 6 to that. So 13 and 8, which is 21. Dead. One guy left. 15 health. Morale check? What do you think? I would do a morale check. You just got woken up in the middle of the night. You thought you heard something. You the smoke is in your eyes. You got this girl with a big black staff in your face. You got this guy with this huge, crazy tiger mane armor on with a burning, flaming weapon in his hand. We're going to have to roll a morale check. So how we're going to do that? So the best way I think I'll do that is we're going to do a d20. If we roll a 5 or less, he surrenders, right? If we roll higher than that, he's going to fight to death because he's dumb. Now there's a 20. He's a complete idiot. So he's just going to take a swing at the guy that fought him first. Like, ruthless. Don't try to take a swing at her, even though you've been able to almost hit her before. Take a swing at Zollers. Not a good move, dude. Not a good move at all. To hit AC -1, these guys need a 12, so he needs a 13. 5 completely misses. So these two get to simultaneously attack him. So Zollers needs basically a 1 will miss. There's a 9 that hits easily. And it's going to be, his damage is 1d10 +1 plus the 1d8. So we're going to do the 1d8. And where's the 10-sider? Here's a 10-sider. There's a 10. This is already death. That's 16 right there, and I only have 15. I'm not even going to add the math up. Splattered. Okay, cool sound effects. All right, so once again, quietly, the rest of the group comes in the room. Seems like everything is staying under control. Time for a little DM background check. This group is lucky. Very, 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 very lucky. Very, very, very lucky. So, they quietly dispatch these guys here. Vaeringjar checks to make sure if they're really dead and not flailing around and bleeding to death and going to make a bunch of noise and groan. Zollers is going to head back up to here. The druid's going to meet him halfway. You okay? We got a little bit of damage done to Vaeringjar. He's like, whatever, don't worry about it. Elafonissi's going to slip over here. She comes in the room. The cleric's like, listen, this would be a great place to close the door back. And let's take a break for a little bit and figure out what we're going to do next. Like, how are things working so far? So they're going to close the door back. And I think one thing he says, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Why don't we take one of these chests and put it against the door? So, and let's get these bodies out of the way. Because since the door swings this way, if someone tries to push the door open, we put a chest right here, okay, right there. it'll push the chest, and then they'll just look in the room, and they won't see people alive, but they think everyone in the facility or the hill giant Steading think there's 3 guys in here sleeping, and they need to be in their cell in beds. So here's the plan. So the cleric and Zolaris help me get these guys into position. And Mercedes says, I agree, it's a great idea. So we're going to take these guys, and we're going to tuck them into bed and lay them on their side and make sure there's no nasty blood sprays anywhere. Not clean it up or anything, just make that from looking from this doorway. And she's just going to slip back over here in case she needs to cast anything, that it looks like everyone is sleeping soundly. Now, once that's taken care of, nothing else has happened in the background. Let's just do a quick check and scan around the room and see if there's anything here of interest. So searching the room, they find that there's a number of chests and none of them are locked, and they're all just full of like old socks and dirty underwear and rocks, and it's like, why do they save rocks and why do they have rocks in the chest? There's really nothing of value. At the very last chest in the corner though, there's 2 platinum pieces. So you have to almost feel sorry for the guy, you know. 2 platinum pieces is worth like 200 gold if I'm not mistaken. And he's been saving it. It's been tucked inside of a sandal. There's a little slip in the sandal, but there's no magic items, anything anywhere. So this is going to give them a chance to, let's get back over here and let's get into position. Mercedes will be at this side of the door. Zolaris will be over here. And Tolo's going to set up shop over here. Elafonissi can be over here and crouch down behind the bed. Vaeringjar can be over here, crouched down behind the bed. Everyone's sleeping, and they can have a quick little conversation with each other without someone opening the door and seeing everyone. In fact, they're going to move over to here, and everyone's going to slide down to here a little bit. And let's kind of quiet things down and wrap it up for tonight. So, that's episode 2. A little longer than normal. Lots of visceral, nasty giant killing. There's a lot more to go. We've only done 3 or 4 or 5 rooms so far. So we're going to try to make another episode in a day or 2, maybe tomorrow night, maybe the night after that. And over this weekend, we'll do a kind of a quick 20-minute recap of everything so far, how we made some of these fights, how some of the maps were built, some of the behind-the-scenes fun stuff. Maybe talk about some of my initiative role rules that are different than some DMs. And we hope you had a lot of fun. Everyone's doing pretty good. Elafonissi still got the curse of the 1. She keeps tripping and falling and flumping. So for someone like her who's disciplined, that's kind of edges at your psychology. You're not doing that good. You know, your brothers and sisters are going to say something to you about it. Are you okay? Are you out of your sorts? What's going on? She's not having any arguments with anyone. Obscura is being really, really quiet here. Vaeringjar is feeling very confident. Zolaris is confident. She's pretty confident in her command. There's no major arguments happening with anyone. But Elafonissi, I'm going to give her a wisdom check, okay? I know this sounds kind of silly, but I'm going to give her a wisdom check. She has 15 wisdom. And if she rolls under 15, which she does, she maintains her composure. If she rolled over the 15, I would have given her like doubt, like not willing to do what she would normally do and back off a little bit till she feels in a groove again. So thanks for tuning in, or if you watch the video on YouTube, feel free to leave a comment or suggestions or whatever you want to do. There's links to everywhere where all this stuff will appear. And we hope you have a fun night. And thanks for your patience. And we'll see you again soon. More bloodshed coming. Thanks again. This is Classic DM. Greyhawk Campaign, Module G1, Steading of the Hill Giant Chief.